Hey, this is Brass Check, and we're recording this on January 20th, 2024. And this is a story I don't know if it's made it to the US news media. I'm going to guess it didn't. But here's the deal, and everybody should know this story. Uh, the British Post Office did a deal with Fujitsu, which is a Japanese software and hardware company, to create a system for the many branches they have. And UK is different. They'll have branches in the back of a stationery store, so there's a lot of little post offices in the UK. And sounds good, right? Everybody needs computer systems to operate. Well, this thing had bugs in it. And the company knew that it had bugs in it as early as 1999. And you may say, well, what's the big deal about that? Between 1999 and 2015, they arrested and prosecuted over 900 what they call sub postmasters, so these little back office post offices, for theft, false accounting, and fraud for shortfalls. In other words, you're running the cash register or the till, and the cash register keeps track of the amount of money that comes in, and if there's a shortage, you're in some trouble with the boss. Well, the Fujitsu software was all screwed up and it was creating errors. Fujitsu knew it. The Fujitsu employees knew it, allowed over 900 people to be handcuffed, taken to jail, held in prison. Some of them were imprisoned over a mistake that Fujitsu made. These people didn't steal a penny. This is over 900 people falsely prosecuted because Fujitsu, which could be any dirtbag corporation, had an error and covered it up and let all these people go to jail instead. And now it's 2024, right? All this happened between 1999 and 2015, and it's in some cases more than 10 years later. And now the company's telling people, and the company did not come forward and tell the courts, hey, listen, we made a mistake here. Here's the documentation. Our mistake, not their mistake. What kind of sinister bastards do we have running corporate Japan and corporate America? Just incredible. Anyway, that's the story. Here's the clip of the new CEO trying to weasel out of this on behalf of his employer. He doesn't belong in jail. The Fujitsu employees that did this belong in jail, and the CEO under who this happened belong in jail. I mean, what? It's a criminal enterprise. It's an absolute criminal enterprise. So you probably didn't hear about this in America. So next time somebody tells you how great AI is or how great the digital world is, and we all have to bow down and genuflect to it and do whatever it says, this is the reality of it. It's the reality of these products. 90% of them are crap, and it's the reality of the companies that provide them. A whole bunch of them are just criminals in suits. So here's this guy trying to weasel out.
Mr. Patterson. If Fujitsu was hoping this would shift the spotlight, they may be disappointed. Answers that led to more questions.
I've just given quite an extensive evidence to the inquiry. We've got some follow-up to do. We're going to be doing that and make sure that we follow through. Thank you.
It was Paul Patterson's second time in the hot seat this week, and as he did to MPs, he began by apologising. Fujitsu designed the faulty Horizon system, and its bugs, we now know, were shared with the post office, and Fujitsu knew about them from the start.
All the bugs and errors have been known at one level or not for many, many years, right from the very start of deployment of this system. There were bugs and errors and defects which were well known.
It was an extraordinary admission. Problems with the system the post office treated as sacrosanct for many years after. But it wasn't as extraordinary as what came next. Paul Patterson told this room that witness statements were edited to remove references to the bugs. And these were witness statements given by Fujitsu staff and used in the prosecutions of sub-postmasters, innocent victims who were denied a fair trial because the evidence was incomplete.
And I have no doubt you would regard that as shameful.
I would, yes, that would be one word I would use.
What's the other one?
Shameful, appalling. My understanding of how our laws work in this country, that all of the evidence should have been put in front of the sub-postmaster, that the post office was relying on to prosecute them.
Horizon Helpline, thank you for waiting.
Lee Castleton is one of the heroes of the ITV drama. A former sub-postmaster made bankrupt after being taken to court and pursued for more than £300,000.
They should hang their heads in shame, the whole lot of them really. They've conspired to prosecute people for 20 years and it's still, the prosecution's out ongoing, but the prosecution's still standing.
But where Fujitsu said sorry, only silence from those who were at the post office. This was Angela Vanden Bogard, a former top boss. But the cameras and the questions aren't going away. Ivor Bennett, Sky News.
Your email to Mr. Dunks. See you in court then. Fetter Lane is where they used to hang people out to dry. I don't suppose that type of thing happens anymore, though. That Castleton is a nasty chap and will be out to rubbish the FJ name. It's up to you to maintain absolute strength and integrity, no matter what the prosecution throw at you. We will all be behind you, hoping you come through unscathed. Bless you. Was this your pep talk to your team member that you were managing before he had to go and give evidence?
No, it wasn't a pep talk, no.
You're saying, don't worry, we're all behind you, aren't you?
That's what it says.
And what you say to reassure him is, don't worry, he's a nasty man. How did you form that opinion, Mr. Sewell?
I don't know. I don't know why I wrote it. I apologise.
What was being said within Fujitsu that allowed you to form the opinion that he was a nasty man?
Nothing, I don't think.
Nothing?
I'm not aware of anything. No.
You made that up off the top of your head?
Yeah, in a way, I think yes.
And why would you do that, Mr. Sewell?
I don't know.
Is that the opinion that you formed of all sub-postmasters who took issue with what Post Office said in the courts?
Absolutely not.
You were egging Mr. Dunks on, weren't you? Urging him to go into battle with Mr. Castleton, weren't
I don't know
you?
what it was written for now. I don't know.
You will know by now that Mr. Castleton was indeed hung out to dry.
I know a lot more about it now than I did, yes.
Knowing what you know about him being hung out to dry, and the way that you urged Mr. Dunks to go into battle with him, is that the right attitude for someone to take into court when they're about to give evidence in a case with serious implications for someone?
No.
And yet that was the attitude that your management style and your email fostered and encouraged, isn't it?
It suggests that way, yes. I don't know why I wrote it.
Did you say similar things to Mr. Dunks before he gave evidence against Seema Misra?
Absolutely not.
And why do you say absolutely not?
I can't even believe that that was written, so no more.
Well, if you can't believe that you wrote that and clearly you did, is it not entirely possible that you said similar things before he gave evidence against Mrs. Misra?
No.
No?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
And why are we to believe that, Mr. Sewell?
That's what I'm saying to you.
Brass Check TV, free to you, not free to us. We've got a server bill, we've got an email software bill, we've got a tech helper bill, and that happens every month. So to everybody that is supporting us financially, that's paying for their subscription in one way or another, we really appreciate it. If you're not, consider doing so. Everybody's got money for the newspaper and the cable bill and all that. Do you have money for media that's actually serving you? That's really the issue here. And when you help us, it allows us to get this information out to the world. So thanks to all our supporters, and if you're not a supporter already, please consider becoming one.